Hello, what is up guys? Evil Duo Sarm here today and back with another Black Desert video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the horse system in Black Desert. Horses are a major part of this game. They're your fastest way around the map, and every single player is going to have to get invested in this at some point in the game unless they want to walk everywhere, which is stupid. So in this video, I'm going to try and give you everything you need to know as far as like an entry-level beginner getting into Black Desert to start getting better horses, get better gear for your horses, and basically everything you'll need to know to get started. But real quick, before we get into the video, if you're new to Black Desert, new to the channel, or enjoy the content on the channel, please consider subscribing. We're pushing for the 20K number, and that would be awesome. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it, and let's take a look at the very first part of the horse system, the most integral part of the horse system, the stable keeper. The stable keeper is where you're going to do all of your managing of horses in this game. So to find the closest stable keeper to where you are, you're going to click the hourglass or the eyeglass in the top right corner, and look for the stable icon. If you go ahead and click on this button right here, it will place a waypoint on your map to the closest stable keeper. When you get to the stable keeper, the very first horse you're ever going to get as a player in Black Desert is going to be found in the shop tab at the bottom. You're going to see two emblems, the horse emblem beginner's brown horse and horse emblem beginner's gray horse. Now both of these horses are slower than walking, so why would you want to buy these? The reason you will is because they're going to level you up to beginner 5 as far as horse training goes. The reason you want to hit beginner 5 is because that will allow you to catch additional horses and build up your horse empire. But anyway, as a new player, feel free to pick whichever one of these you want. You're literally just using it to level up your training level. So I'm just going to pick the brown one for the purpose of this video. Right click it to buy it and it will drop in your inventory. After you've got it in your inventory, navigate to the stable tab and it will say you have a mount you can register. Click OK. Click the register mount button in the bottom left. It's like above my microphone, like right where my hand is moving around right now. It's going to tell you to pick which emblem. You want to pick the brown one. You're going to type in a name for it. We're going to just call it horse and hit confirm. And you now have level 1 horse registered at the stable keeper. To take your horse out, all you got to do on it is click it and then click take out, and you will now have this horse out. To mount your horse, press R, and that'll let you get on top of the horse and literally just ride this horse around from place to place. You can see it's pretty slow. You kind of run faster than this, but ride it place to place until you get yourself up to training level 5. To see your training level, press P on the keyboard to open up this menu, click on the life info, and look for the training stat. When this is up to beginner 5, we're going to go and get a new horse. So after you've hit beginner 5, you have a few options to obtaining a new horse. The easiest one is going to be just buy a horse from another player in game. This is going to cost you a significant amount of money though, but if you want to do it via this method, go ahead and talk to any stable keeper, click on the stable option, and look for the horse market. In the horse market, you're able to filter by tier of horse. Every horse has a different tier. Higher tier horses have better stats and access to more skills. Different horse skills, which we're only going to touch on a few in this video, but we'll get to that in a second. And a gender, male or female. So if you know exactly what you're looking for, or if you want to get a high tier horse with maximum movement speed and all of that great stuff, you can just filter for it here and buy it yourself. This is going to be the fastest way, like I already said, but it is going to cost a significant amount of money. Now, if you want to do it the good old-fashioned way and catch it yourself, and the more fun way, honestly, then you're going to need to get into horse taming. So to get started with horse taming, you're going to need to navigate to any stable keeper, click on them, click on the shop, and look for the capturing rope. You might need a few of these to catch your first horse, so we're going to go ahead and buy let's buy 5 just to be safe, and drop them in your inventory. So I now have 5 capturing ropes in my inventory. The next thing you're going to need to capture horses is going to be a lump of sugar. So to get the lumps of sugar, you're going to need to navigate to the cooking NPC located in any of the major cities. To find the cooking NPC, click on the eyeglass in the top corner and look for cooking. That'll place a waypoint on the map, and you can just auto path to the nearest cooking vendor. Once you've arrived at the closest cooking vendor, go ahead and click on the vendor, press the shop button, and you're going to need to buy some items. Each lump of sugar that you're going to craft requires 10 raw sugar. So go ahead and click on this, click buy multiple, and we're going to make a total of 10 of these lumps of sugar just to be safe, so I need 100 raw sugar. So go ahead and buy that and add it into our inventory. You're also going to need mineral water. You only need 1 mineral water per these, so we're going to need 10 of these. So click buy multiple, and we're going to buy 10. So once you have both the sugar and water, in order to make the lump of raw sugar, you're going to need to navigate to the processing menu by pressing L on the keyboard, navigate to heating, which is this little fire emblem here, click on the water, and click on the sugar. Go ahead and hit click start, and it will go through and make these. So we'll come back after it's done making the sugar. So now that we have our lumps of raw sugar, we can actually go and catch our first horse. Horses spawn all over the Black Desert world. You will be traveling randomly questing and you will find horses. However, there's a few spots where they always spawn or where you can always find them. I'm going to take you to one right now. I'll also put a link in the description below of a map that shows you all sorts of different locations that horses can spawn. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to find one really close to Calpheon because I don't want to travel very far. All right, so we have arrived at the location. You can see there's some horses wandering around here in the wild. The location that we're looking at here is just to the west of Calpheon, just south of the Marnie Farm ruins. It's right where the road splits into a fork here leaving Calpheon. So when you arrive at a place with wild horses, you want to look at the horses and see what tiers they're going to be. If they're all low tiers, like tiers 1 or 2, it's not really worth your time. But if there's like a higher tier horse here, you want to go for it. Now, how do you know what a higher tier horse is? You need to use a chart like this one. So this will be linked in the description below as well, but basically it has a picture of all of the different horses and their tiers. So compare what you see in front of you to the different tiers that you see shown in this infographic, and you'll decide if you want to go ahead and try and catch the horse. So here we all have basically tiers 1s and 2s, and if I was really trying to catch a better horse, I would move on to another location, but just because I want to show how the system works, I'm going to go for this one because it's got a different colored mane, and it might be different. I can't entirely tell with the lighting going on in the world right now. But anyway, we're going to try and show you how to catch this. So the first thing you want to do is put the rope and the lump of sugar onto your hotbar. Do that, open up your inventory, take the lumps of sugar, drop it onto your hotbar, take the rope, drop it onto your hotbar. It's going to make it a lot easier to use these items when you get into the positions that you need to be to use them. The second thing we need to do is we need to sneak up on the horse and get close to it before we cast the rope. All right, we've got the horse in a good spot now. So when you've got the horse lined up, go ahead and left click to throw it, then you got to hit space bar, throw it in. Now you need to hit this, and when its hands go up, or when its legs lift, you need to mash the hell out of the spacebar button for 10 seconds. And after that, you'll be able to walk towards the horse again. So you want to walk towards the horse, and when its hind legs lift like that, when the spacebar pops up, you got to mash the spacebar. And at the end of the 10 seconds, you need to be above the bar that's popping up right there. So if you like carpal tunnel, this is the game for you. Anyway, once you get close enough to the horse, now you see I can give it items. So from here, you want to start feeding it lumps of sugar. So press whatever button you have on the hotbar for the lumps of sugar, and you'll feed it lumps of sugar. I would recommend feeding it at least 5 times lumps of sugar, but basically you want to feed it sugar at this point. So we're going to go through 5 times of feeding. So once you've fed it, you press R to mount it just like a normal horse, and we successfully captured this one. So all we got to do now is return to Calpheon and register it at the stable, or whatever closest stable there is to you, wherever you decided to catch the horse. You aren't going to be able to sprint, you just literally have to dog it and walk it all the way back, which is why you want to try and find a spot that's relatively close to a stable, otherwise you're going to be here for a while. Anyway, I'll meet you back at Calpheon. Alright, so we have arrived at the stable in Calpheon, so all we're going to do is talk to the stable keeper. Go ahead and click on the stable option. LMB to register is going to pop up in this corner here. Click that. We need to name the horse. We're going to call it Horse 2. Confirm, confirm, and we now have Horse 2 registered at the stable. So Horse 2 is a level 2, tier 2, so we did do a little bit better, but not that much better than the tier 1. But basically, you'd want to go around to different spawns for horses until you found higher tier horses like a tier 3 or a tier 4. So now if you don't want to go through any of this bull crap and you just want to get a horse and you're only going to play one character and you don't really care, you can get a free tier 5 horse. You can actually get 2 of them for playing through the main quest line up through Calpheon, the Calpheon quest lines. So you're going to get 2 free tier 5 horses from the Black Spirit. So this tier 5 horse that you're going to get is going to have just about every single skill that it needs to be a good horse, and it will be a good horse throughout the rest of the game for you, unless you want to upgrade to one of the super fast crazy horses, but it'll get the job done. So if you don't want to go through any of this horse taming crap, feel free to bypass it all. So if you want to improve your roster of horses that you gather out in the wild by capturing them, you can do that through breeding. To breed, you're going to want to max level out the horses first, breed them with a male and a female, and eventually you'll progress all the way up to the max tier of horses. This takes forever. I'm not even going to bother covering this in this video. But just know that it exists and you can do horse breeding if you want to do it. The next thing I want to talk about is gearing your horse, and this is actually the last thing we're going to talk about here. So, if we look at my horse, you see that it's got a saddle, it's got some stirrups on it, and it's got some equipment. If we go ahead and click on the info button for my horse, we can see that it has a saddle, some stirrups, as well as a horseshoe. These are going to be your 3 biggest and most important items you're going to want to pick up for your horse. The reason being, the horseshoe increases the movement speed of your horse, the saddle gives you an additional stamina so your horse can run for longer, and the stirrups allow you to fight while mounted on your horse. So if you're getting surrounded by monsters or things like that, now you can craft all of these items. You can also pass amity mini games with all of the stable keepers throughout the world to get these items as well. Not really worth bothering with all of that because you can just go to the central market and just type in something like horseshoe and pick up the light iron horseshoe relatively cheap. So I would just recommend picking up the items via the marketplace. To equip items to your mount, simply stand near the mount and then right click the item from your inventory. It will automatically be equipped to your mount. So that's how you handle gearing your mount. So the final thing we're going to talk about in today's video are skills for your horses. There are 4 key skills that you want on your horses in Black Desert. They are drift, sprint, instant acceleration, and the final one is S instant acceleration, which is only available on tier 8 and tier 9 horses. The reason being is that with these skills, your horse will run infinitely faster. So just to demonstrate how this works, we're going to go ahead and just do our casual run. So this is the normal movement speed for any horse that you would attain that doesn't have the sprint skill. If you add the sprint skill, you get an extra boost of movement speed that you can maintain forever. Now if we throw in instant acceleration, we get even more additional bursts of speed, but they have a little bit of a delay between them. You can see that we have a bit of a delay. So the reason you want drift is because you can throw a drift in between each burst of instant acceleration, and I screwed it up right there because it's hard to talk and walk and chew gum. But anyway, you could throw a drift in between each one of the instant accelerations and mass instant acceleration all the way through. And S instant acceleration allows you to instant accelerate a second time. So you can drift, instant, instant, drift, instant, instant, all while sprinting the entire way and traverse the map incredibly quickly. So if you've seen anybody flying by you on a horse, that is what they're doing, and that is how they do it. So the tier 5 horse that you're going to get from completing the story quest in the Calpheon region does have all of these skills except for S instant acceleration. So it is a very good workhorse horse for traveling the world in Black Desert. But do know that there are better versions of horses that you can either breed or just purchase off of the marketplace. So I lied, there's one more thing I want to talk about with horses. Whenever you get to a new city or a new village or whatnot, you always want to make sure to top off your stamina bar. Think of it like filling up your car at a gas station. Every time you get to a major area that has a stable keeper, top off your gas. So to do that, talk to any stable keeper, click on the stable button, and click the recover button. For a small silver fee, it will recharge all of the stamina of your horse, and you can get back out there and traveling the world. If you run out of stamina, your horse will walk incredibly slow and you'll want to kill yourself. So save yourself some time and just fill up every time you get to a new village. Also, one more thing to point out, if for some reason you lose your horse dies, or you end up having to abandon it and you're way too far away from it and you just want to get it back, if you click remote collection at any stable, it will bring the horse back to the stable. So like if your horse fell into a lake, remote collection or recover, it will bring it back here and you can go ahead and pick it back up and play again. So anyway, guys, that is everything I want to cover in my introductory beginner's guide for horses. If you found this video useful, if it's going to help you, let me know in the comment section what you think, and leave a like just so I know. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you stay updated when new content comes out, and I will see you at the next stream, video, or wherever I happen to see you. Peace.